Have you ever felt like you're caught in a story that's not your own? Like the script of your life was written by someone else, and you're just playing a role you didn't choose? Maybe you've been judged, misunderstood, or labeled by the world, and those judgments have become a heavy cloak you carry. Perhaps you've been running, hiding from a past that haunts you, desperately seeking a place to belong, a place to simply breathe. We all carry stories, some etched in the lines of our faces, others hidden deep within our hearts. Stories of resilience, of survival, of the relentless human spirit that refuses to be extinguished. Imagine a woman named Emily, thrust into the world that wasn't meant for her, forced to navigate the shadows of judgment and the sting of a life she never envisioned. Picture her, a woman once privileged, now stripped of everything, finding herself in the harsh glare of a world that offers little solace. She's forced to endure the whispers, the cruel glances, and the constant reminder of a past she can't outrun. This isn't just a story about hardship, it's about the strength that blooms in the face of adversity, the quiet courage that rises from the ashes of despair. Now, envision a man, Caleb, a solitary figure, weathered by grief and isolation. A man who understands the language of silence, the weight of loss. He lives a life far removed from the judgment of society. Yet he too carries a burden, a heartache that has shaped him into the man he is. He dwells in a world of wide open spaces, where the vastness of the sky mirrors the expanse of his loneliness. His story is one of quiet endurance, of the slow, patient healing that only time and connection can bring. When their paths collide, it's not a fairy tale, but a collision of two souls, each carrying their own scars, their own unspoken pain. It's a meeting born not of destiny, but of circumstance. A moment that will challenge everything they thought they knew about themselves and each other. Their connection will be forged in the crucible of shared vulnerability, in the silent understanding that comes from recognizing a kindred spirit. It's a journey from the darkness of the past into the tentative light of a possible future. This is not a story of perfection. It is a story of human imperfection and the capacity for redemption, of finding love in the most unexpected of places. It's about the courage to believe in a second chance, a chance to rewrite your own script, to finally become the author of your own life. We will walk through this journey together. Let's delve deeper into the shadows that Emily carries, the echoes of a past that cling to her like dust on a forgotten relic. Considering the weight of societal judgment, the weight of expectation, how does this shape her inner landscape? What strategies, conscious or otherwise, might she have adopted to navigate such a tumultuous existence? Furthermore, consider the concept of self-sabotage. It's a subtle dance, often unseen, where past traumas manifest as self-defeating behaviors. Perhaps Emily, having been stripped of her former life, internalizes the belief that she doesn't deserve happiness. This could lead to choices that reinforce her perceived unworthiness, like seeking out relationships that mirror the instability she's known, or pushing away those who offer genuine care. Building on this, however, is the role of shame. Shame, unlike guilt, is a corrosive force that attacks the core of our being. It whispers that we are inherently flawed, irredeemable. Consequently, Emily might struggle with feelings of inadequacy, constantly fearing exposure, the judgment of others. This is a significant obstacle to building trust and intimacy. It creates a barrier between her and the possibility of genuine connection. Conversely, think about the coping mechanisms she might have developed. Perhaps she's perfected the art of emotional detachment, a way to protect herself from further pain. Or she might have become hypervigilant, constantly scanning her environment for threats, both real and perceived. This can lead to anxiety, hyperreactivity in a sense, of being perpetually on edge. Another crucial layer is the impact of trauma on the body. Trauma isn't just a mental experience, it's imprinted within our nervous systems. The body remembers what the mind forgets. Imagine the physical manifestations of Emily's past, the tension held in her shoulders, the shallow breaths, the racing heart when triggered. This physical embodiment of trauma adds another dimension to her struggle, making it all the more challenging to heal. Now, consider how this applies when you face your own shadows. What are the hidden patterns that keep you from experiencing the fullness of life? Are you holding on to beliefs that no longer serve you? Are you allowing the past to dictate your present? The key is to recognize these patterns, to bring them into the light of awareness, and to begin the process of gentle, compassionate self-inquiry. It's about acknowledging the pain, understanding its roots, and choosing a different path, one guided by self-compassion and the unwavering belief in your own inherent worth. Let's now turn our gaze towards Caleb, the stoic rancher, and consider his internal landscape. His life, though seemingly simple, likely conceals a labyrinth of unspoken grief and unresolved trauma. What emotional wounds might he be carrying, and how do they shape his interactions with Emily and the world around him? Moreover, consider the impact of isolation. Living miles from civilization, surrounded by vast, unforgiving landscapes, Caleb may have cultivated a protective shell. This solitary existence could be a refuge, a way to avoid the pain of connection and the potential for further loss. It might also, however, be a prison, a place where loneliness festers and where the opportunity for healing is severely limited. Building on this, Think about the role of stoicism as a coping mechanism. Caleb perhaps has learned to suppress his emotions, to bury his pain beneath a veneer of strength and composure. While this may have served him in surviving the harsh realities of his life, it could also be a barrier to intimacy and vulnerability, making it difficult for him to connect with Emily on a deeper level. Furthermore, his past experiences with love and loss are almost certainly influencing his present. The death of his wife and child, a tragedy that could have shattered him, may have left him with a deep-seated fear of vulnerability. He might be hesitant to open his heart again, fearing the potential for heartbreak and the excruciating pain of loss. This fear could manifest as a reluctance to fully commit to a relationship, or as a tendency to unconsciously distance himself from those he cares about. Consequently, consider the concept of repressed anger. Grief, when unacknowledged or unprocessed, can often transform into anger. Caleb, bottling up his sorrow, might experience outbursts of irritability or a general sense of resentment towards the world. This underlying anger, if not addressed, could become a significant obstacle to building a healthy relationship with Emily, potentially leading to conflict and misunderstanding. Now, consider the ways Caleb might be unconsciously projecting his own unresolved issues onto Emily, seeing in her a reflection of his own pain. He might struggle to fully accept her, to fully trust her, or to believe in the possibility of her healing. The key lies in recognizing these patterns, in understanding that our past experiences profoundly shape how we perceive and interact with others. This understanding, in turn, opens the door to empathy, to compassion, and to the possibility of genuine connection. It is a journey that requires a willingness to confront our own shadows, to acknowledge our vulnerabilities, and to choose love over fear. Now, let's shift our focus to understanding the dynamics between Emily and Caleb, and how they navigate their relationship. Consider how each of them, shaped by their unique pasts, might inadvertently trigger each other's vulnerabilities. For instance, Emily's fear of judgment might be activated by Caleb's stoicism, which she could misinterpret as disapproval or lack of care. Moreover, what about the concept of emotional mirroring? Humans often reflect each other's emotional states, either consciously or unconsciously. Perhaps Caleb, seeing Emily's pain, begins to unconsciously mirror her expressions of vulnerability, a subtle way of showing empathy. Conversely, Emily might begin to adopt Caleb's stoicism as a defense mechanism, mirroring his outward composure to protect herself. Building on this, however, is the subtle dance of attachment styles. Emily, having experienced instability, might subconsciously exhibit an anxious attachment style, constantly seeking reassurance and fearing abandonment. Caleb, on the other hand, could demonstrate an avoidant attachment style, preferring emotional distance and independence. This mismatch in attachment styles could lead to recurring conflicts and misunderstandings, a push-and-pull dynamic that threatens to unravel their fragile connection. Another crucial layer is the impact of unspoken expectations. Both Emily and Caleb, carrying their own personal histories, will undoubtedly have preconceived notions about what a relationship should look like. These expectations, often unconscious, can create friction if they are not openly communicated and negotiated. For example, Emily might expect Caleb to be more emotionally expressive, while Caleb might expect Emily to be more self-sufficient. Consequently, consider the role of projection. Humans often project their own unresolved issues onto others, seeing in them the qualities they either admire or despise within themselves. Caleb, for example, might project his own self-doubt onto Emily, viewing her past as a reflection of his own perceived inadequacies. This projection can cloud their judgment, leading to misunderstandings and preventing genuine connection. Now, consider how this applies when you observe relationships. What patterns do you see in the dynamics between people? Are you able to identify the subtle ways that past traumas manifest in present-day interactions? The key to understanding the dynamics between Emily and Caleb, and indeed any couple, lies in recognizing these subtle forces and the ways they shape the dance of human connection. Let's now turn our attention to the practicalities of fostering authentic communication and creating a safe space for Emily and Caleb to connect. How can they navigate the challenges of sharing their vulnerabilities while also establishing healthy boundaries? Furthermore, consider the importance of active listening. This isn't merely hearing the words, it's about truly understanding the other person's perspective, their emotions, and their unspoken needs. For instance, Caleb, accustomed to silence, might need to learn how to listen not just to Emily's words, but also to the silences between them, to the subtle cues of her body language, and to the emotions that lie beneath the surface. Building on this, however, is the crucial role of nonviolent communication. This approach emphasizes expressing needs and feelings without blame or judgment, creating a space where both individuals feel heard and understood. Imagine Emily and Caleb learning to articulate their needs in a clear and compassionate manner, using I statements to express their feelings without accusing the other. This could revolutionize their interactions, transforming potential conflicts into opportunities for growth. Another crucial layer is the establishment of healthy boundaries. This is essential for both Emily and Caleb, who have likely experienced violations of their boundaries in the past. They must learn to identify their limits, to communicate them clearly, and to respect each other's boundaries. For example, Emily might need to learn to say no when she feels overwhelmed, while Caleb might need to respect her need for space and solitude. Consequently, consider the power of shared experiences. Engaging in activities together, whether it's tending to the ranch, stargazing, or simply sharing a meal, can create a sense of connection and trust. These shared moments become the foundation upon which their relationship is built, fostering a sense of intimacy and mutual understanding. Think of the early days of their interaction, how the simple act of working together in the open air starts to build a bond. Now consider how this applies when you are in a relationship. How do you communicate your needs? Are you able to listen actively to your partner? Do you have healthy boundaries, and do you respect your partner's boundaries? The key is to practice these skills consistently to create a relationship built on trust, respect, and open communication. Remember, communication is not just about talking. It's about truly connecting with another human being. Now, let's explore the essence of conscious love and how it might bloom between Emily and Caleb, and what that means for us beyond the initial spark of attraction. Beyond the shared wounds, what does genuine, healthy love truly look like? Furthermore, it's about recognizing the inherent worth of the other person, separate from any expectations or conditions. It's about seeing Emily, not as the shamed saloon girl, but as a woman with a unique spirit, a resilience that has been tested and proven. For Caleb, it's about seeing beyond his own grief, embracing Emily for who she is, not for who she was, or who he wishes her to be. Building on this, however, is the importance of emotional freedom. Conscious love doesn't seek to control or possess. It celebrates the individual's autonomy. It means allowing Emily the space to heal at her own pace, to make her own choices, even if those choices differ from Caleb's. Conversely, it means Caleb having the freedom to pursue his own passions, to maintain his own sense of self, without feeling constrained by the relationship. Another crucial layer is the commitment to mutual growth. Healthy love is not static. It's a dynamic process of evolution. It's about supporting each other's aspirations, encouraging each other to become the best versions of themselves. Imagine Emily and Caleb inspiring each other to confront their fears, to step outside their comfort zones, and to embrace new possibilities. Consequently, consider the power of forgiveness. Both Emily and Caleb carry baggage from their pasts. Conscious love requires a willingness to forgive, not just the other person, but also oneself. It means releasing the grudges, the resentments, and the lingering judgments that can poison a relationship. It requires a conscious choice to let go of the past and to embrace the present moment. Now, consider how this applies when you are in a relationship. Is your love built on conditions or expectations? Do you allow your partner the freedom to be themselves? Are you committed to your own personal growth as well as the growth of your partner? The key is to cultivate a love that is expansive, empowering, and deeply rooted in respect, trust, and a shared commitment to living authentically. Let's now contemplate the subtle dance of vulnerability that unfolds within a relationship, especially one forged amidst hardship, like that between Emily and Caleb. Beyond the initial sharing of painful experiences, what deeper layers of openness and acceptance must they cultivate to truly find solace and connection? Moreover, think about the significance of self-disclosure. It is not simply about recounting one's past. It is about revealing one's current thoughts, feelings, and aspirations. For Emily, this means sharing her hopes and anxieties about the future, her dreams of a life free from the shadows of her past. For Caleb, it involves articulating his longings, his fears of repeating past mistakes, and his desire to build a life of meaning. Building on this, however, is the understanding that vulnerability is not weakness. It is, in fact, a form of profound strength. It requires courage to show one's true self, to shed the masks we wear to protect ourselves. Think of Emily, learning to trust Caleb enough to let down her guard, to reveal her insecurities and imperfections. Think of Caleb, allowing himself to be seen, not as the stoic rancher, but as a man with a vulnerable heart. Another crucial layer is the practice of empathy, the ability to understand and share the feelings of another. This involves not only listening to their words, but also sensing their unspoken emotions, their underlying needs. Imagine Emily, striving to understand Caleb's quiet grief, his reticence, and his struggles to open up. Similarly, Caleb must develop the capacity to truly see Emily, to comprehend her fears and anxieties, and to offer her the support she requires. Consequently, consider the power of acceptance. In a truly loving relationship, partners accept each other fully, flaws, and all. This means embracing Emily's past, her imperfections, and her vulnerabilities. For Caleb, this is about accepting her history, her journey, and her right to heal and grow. For Emily, it is about accepting Caleb's stoicism, his quietness, and his capacity for profound love. Now, consider how this applies when you strive for deeper connections. Do you allow yourself to be truly seen by the people in your life? Do you have the courage to share your vulnerabilities? Are you able to practice empathy and offer acceptance to those you care about? The key is to cultivate a culture of openness, trust, and acceptance, where both individuals feel safe to reveal their true selves, flaws and all, and where the bonds of love are strengthened through shared vulnerability. Now, let's illuminate the concept of forgiveness within the context of Emily and Caleb's evolving relationship. Moving beyond mere words to the profound act of releasing the past, it's a weighty undertaking, a conscious decision to unburden oneself of resentment, to liberate the heart from the shackles of bitterness. Furthermore, consider the impact of self-forgiveness. Emily, having endured the harsh judgments of society and carrying the scars of her past, might struggle to forgive herself for perceived mistakes. This self-condemnation can be a significant impediment to healing and to building a healthy relationship. It's crucial for her to recognize her inherent worth, to acknowledge her struggles, and to extend to herself the same compassion she desires from Caleb. Building on this, however, is the importance of understanding forgiveness as a process, not a destination. It is rarely a singular event, but rather a series of choices, a conscious effort to release the grip of anger and resentment. This process may involve revisiting painful memories, acknowledging the harm that was done, and gradually allowing the wounds to heal. Another crucial layer is the recognition that forgiveness does not condone the actions of others. It is not about excusing or minimizing the harm inflicted. Instead, it is about releasing the emotional burden, the negative energy that keeps us tethered to the past. It's about freeing oneself from the cycle of bitterness and choosing to move forward with a lighter heart. Consequently, consider the potential for forgiveness to transform the dynamics between Emily and Caleb. As Caleb forgives Emily for her past, and as Emily learns to forgive herself, their relationship can deepen. They can cultivate a sense of mutual understanding, compassion, and acceptance. The past will no longer define them, and they will be free to build a future based on trust, respect, and the transformative power of love. Now, consider how this applies when you grapple with your own past. What grudges are you clinging to? Are you able to forgive yourself for your perceived shortcomings? The key lies in embracing forgiveness as a deliberate choice, the process of releasing the past and opening the door to a brighter future. Let us now examine the potential for a shared future, a canvas upon which Emily and Caleb can paint a new reality. Beyond the immediate challenges of their pasts, what steps can they take to build a sustainable and fulfilling partnership? Furthermore, envision the importance of shared goals, whether it's revitalizing Caleb's ranch, establishing a sanctuary for animals, or simply creating a home filled with warmth and laughter. Their shared aspirations will serve as a unifying force. These mutual objectives will provide a sense of purpose and direction, fostering a deeper connection and a shared sense of identity. Building on this, it's essential to consider the significance of adaptability. Life, as we all know, is unpredictable. Challenges will inevitably arise, and the ability to navigate these unforeseen circumstances with grace and resilience will be crucial. Emily and Caleb will need to be flexible, willing to compromise, and open to embracing change. Consider the possibility of unexpected events, like a severe drought, a health crisis, or even the return of someone from Emily's past. Their ability to weather these storms together will define the strength of their bond. Another crucial layer is the role of individual pursuits. While a shared life is essential, it's equally vital to nurture individual passions and interests. Emily, perhaps, might rediscover her love for art, finding solace and expression in painting the vast landscapes that surround them. Caleb, in turn, could dedicate himself to improving the ranch, experimenting with new farming techniques, or simply enjoying the solitude of his work. This autonomy strengthens the relationship, preventing it from becoming suffocating or codependent. Consequently, contemplate the power of legacy. What kind of life do Emily and Caleb wish to create, not only for themselves but also for future generations? Do they aspire to build a family, to leave a positive mark on the world? This sense of legacy can provide a powerful sense of meaning and fulfillment, connecting them to something larger than themselves. Now, consider how this applies when you are building a future with someone. Do you share common goals and aspirations? Are you adaptable to change? Do you support each other's individual pursuits? The key is to cultivate a vision for the future, to approach challenges with resilience, and to build a life that is both meaningful and fulfilling. Let us now turn our gaze towards the transformative power of resilience and how Emily and Caleb might cultivate this essential attribute in their shared journey. It's not merely about enduring hardship, it's about emerging stronger, wiser, and more compassionate because of it. Furthermore, consider how they can foster a growth mindset. Instead of viewing setbacks as failures, a resilient couple embraces them as learning opportunities. Imagine them approaching challenges with curiosity, asking themselves, what can we learn from this? Or how can we adapt and improve? This perspective shifts their focus from blame to problem solving, strengthening their collaborative spirit. Building on this, however, is the importance of building a strong support system. Resilience isn't a solitary endeavor. Both Emily and Caleb will benefit from cultivating meaningful connections with others, perhaps forming friendships within their local community, or seeking guidance from trusted mentors. Sharing their experiences and receiving support from others can provide invaluable emotional sustenance during difficult times. Another crucial layer is the practice of self-care. Resilience requires energy, both physical and emotional. Emily and Caleb must prioritize their well-being, engaging in activities that nourish their minds, bodies, and spirits. This might include spending time in nature, pursuing hobbies, or practicing mindfulness. These acts of self-compassion will fortify them against the inevitable stresses of life. Consequently, visualize the power of reframing negative experiences. Resilient individuals possess the ability to view adversity through a different lens. Instead of dwelling on what went wrong, they focus on what went right, or on the lessons learned. For example, if a crisis impacts their ranch, they might choose to focus on the community support they receive, or on the innovative solutions they discover. This positive outlook helps them maintain hope and motivation. Now, consider how this applies when facing adversity in your own life. How do you respond to setbacks? Do you cultivate a growth mindset, or do you get stuck in negative thought patterns? Are you building a strong support system, or do you isolate yourself? The key is to develop these resilient habits. Remember, resilience isn't about avoiding pain. It's about learning to navigate it with strength, grace, and unwavering self-belief. Let's now explore the intricate dance of trust that is fundamental to Emily and Caleb's evolving connection. Moving beyond the initial stages of vulnerability, it's a delicate ecosystem where every interaction either nourishes or erodes the foundation upon which their relationship is built. Furthermore, consider the role of consistency in building trust. It's not enough to express love and commitment. Those sentiments must be reflected in actions, day in and day out. Imagine Caleb consistently demonstrating his dependability through his words and deeds, his actions mirroring his avowed intentions. Conversely, Emily, witnessing this unwavering reliability, can begin to shed her protective layers, allowing herself to believe in the safety of their shared space. Building on this, the significance of transparency cannot be overstated. Hidden agendas, secrets, and half-truths can poison the well of trust. For Emily and Caleb, this means being open and honest with each other, even when the truth is difficult to share. Imagine Caleb confessing his past mistakes, his regrets, and his vulnerabilities, enabling Emily to understand him more deeply. Consequently, she can reciprocate, sharing her own struggles and fears, creating a reciprocal environment of candor and honesty. Another crucial layer is the acceptance of imperfections. Trust isn't built on the illusion of perfection. It thrives on the acknowledgement of human fallibility. Emily and Caleb must understand that both of them will make mistakes, say the wrong things, and experience moments of weakness. The ability to forgive these imperfections, to offer grace and understanding, strengthens the bonds of trust. Think of them navigating disagreements, conflicts, and misunderstandings, not as betrayals, but as opportunities to deepen their understanding and commitment. Consequently, the power of shared experiences should not be underestimated. The challenges Emily and Caleb overcome together, the victories they celebrate, and the quiet moments of connection they share all contribute to the fabric of trust. The more they navigate life's journey side by side, the more their confidence in each other deepens, creating a shared history of reliability and mutual support. Now consider how this applies when you are navigating relationships. Are you consistent in your words and actions? Do you strive for transparency in your interactions? Do you accept the imperfections of others? And, more importantly, your own? The key lies in cultivating these habits. Remember, trust isn't simply given, it is earned, nurtured, and protected with diligence. Let's now consider the delicate art of self-compassion, a quality that becomes an indispensable element for Emily and Caleb as they navigate the complexities of their relationship and personal healing journeys. It's about treating oneself with the same kindness, understanding, and care that one would extend to a beloved friend grappling with hardship. Furthermore, the cultivation of self-compassion requires acknowledging one's shared humanity. It's the recognition that suffering, imperfection, and failure are universal experiences, aspects of the human condition that connect us all. For Emily, this means realizing that her past mistakes, the judgments she has faced, and the pain she has endured are not unique to her. They are part of the human tapestry. Conversely, for Caleb it means recognizing that his grief, his feelings of inadequacy, and his struggles to connect are not signs of weakness. They are evidence of his humanity. Building on this, however, is the necessity of self-kindness. This is about speaking to oneself with a gentle, supportive inner voice, especially during times of difficulty. Imagine Emily, instead of berating herself for her past choices, offering herself words of comfort and encouragement. Picture Caleb, rather than criticizing himself for his perceived shortcomings, acknowledging his efforts and celebrating his resilience. Another crucial layer is the practice of mindfulness, the ability to observe one's thoughts and feelings without judgment. This involves recognizing difficult emotions, such as sadness, anger, or fear, without getting swept away by them. Emily, by practicing mindfulness, can learn to acknowledge her anxieties without letting them control her actions. Caleb, through mindfulness, can become more aware of his emotional responses, allowing him to respond to challenges with greater awareness and equanimity. Consequently, the power of self-compassion lies in its ability to foster resilience. When faced with adversity, self-compassionate individuals are better equipped to cope with stress, bounce back from setbacks, and maintain a positive outlook. For Emily, this means that when the shadows of her past resurfaced, she can meet them with kindness and understanding. Caleb, when confronted with the challenges of running the ranch, can approach those difficulties with self-acceptance and perseverance. This internal fortitude becomes the bedrock upon which they build a life of meaning and fulfillment. Now, consider how this applies when you are navigating your own life. Do you treat yourself with kindness and understanding, especially during times of difficulty? Can you recognize your shared humanity, knowing that you are not alone in your struggles? The key is to cultivate self-compassion, to nurture your inner voice, and to embrace the challenges of life with gentleness and grace. And so, we find ourselves at a pivotal juncture, a point where the individual threads we've been tracing begin to weave together, forming a tapestry of understanding about the human heart. The journey we've undertaken, mirroring the intertwined destinies of Emily and Caleb, has illuminated the intricate dance between past and present, between vulnerability and strength. We've explored the hidden landscapes of the self, the emotional currents that shape our interactions, and the profound potential for healing that resides within us all. Reflecting on this journey so far, we can see how the seeds of our earliest experiences take root, influencing the patterns we create in relationships and the ways we perceive the world. Like a river carving its path through the landscape, these formative experiences shape the channels through which our emotions flow. Yet, just as a river can be redirected, we too have the power to reshape our emotional terrain, to alter the course of our lives. The unfolding narrative of Emily and Caleb has demonstrated how the act of seeing another person truly seeing them beyond the surface can become a catalyst for transformation. This profound act of acknowledgement, of bearing witness to another's pain and resilience, has the power to melt the icy grip of isolation and foster the tender shoots of connection. It is in this space of shared vulnerability, of honest communication, that the potential for profound healing emerges. As we pivot towards the final reflection, consider the implications of these insights. The lessons we've gleaned are not merely abstract concepts. They are the blueprints for a more authentic and fulfilling life. They represent the possibility of rewriting our stories, of breaking free from the constraints of the past, and of embracing the boundless possibilities that await us. We've approached the threshold of a new understanding, where the shadows of the past become the backdrop against which a brighter future can be painted. The dust of the American West, once a symbol of hardship and isolation for Emily and Caleb, now serves as a testament to the enduring power of the human spirit. Their story, woven from threads of trauma, loss, and the relentless pursuit of belonging, transcends the boundaries of a simple narrative. It becomes a mirror, reflecting the hidden landscapes within each of us. It's a reminder that our past, while shaping our present, does not dictate our future. Consider the vast expanse of Caleb's ranch, where the horizon seems to stretch on forever. It's a metaphor for the boundless potential that lies within each of us to heal, to grow, and to redefine our own narratives. Emily's journey, a flight from a life that betrayed her, shows us that even in the darkest of shadows, a flicker of hope can ignite, leading to a future where she could finally see herself through the eyes of love. Her story serves as a beacon of resilience, reminding us that we are not defined by the judgments of others, but by the choices we make to rise above them. Their unlikely connection, born from shared pain and a mutual yearning for solace, illuminates the transformative power of empathy and authentic communication. It shows us that true connection is not about seeking perfection, but about embracing the imperfections that make us human. It's about listening not just to the words spoken, but also to the unspoken emotions that lie beneath the surface, which ultimately fosters an environment of acceptance and trust. This is more than just a story of two people. It's a testament to the profound capacity for love to heal even the deepest wounds. The narrative proves that forgiveness, both of oneself and of others, is not a sign of weakness, but a courageous act of liberation. It frees us from the shackles of the past, allowing us to embrace the present with a renewed sense of possibility. The ranch symbolizes the space where they learn to build anew. Ultimately, the true value of Emily and Caleb's story lies not in its fictional details, but in its universal message that we all have the capacity to rewrite our own scripts. We all have the power to find redemption, to build lives filled with meaning, love, and belonging, no matter the mistakes we've made or the burdens we carry. Their journey is a gentle nudge, a whispered encouragement to look inward, to confront our own shadows, and to embrace the transformative power that resides within us all. The true practice begins now, with the courage to believe in our own potential, and to write our own futures with the ink of hope. Have you ever felt like you're caught in a story that wasn't meant for you? A story where the world has already decided your role, and every step you take seems to echo the whispers of judgment. Maybe you've carried the weight of a past that refuses to stay buried, a past that casts a long shadow over your present, making it difficult to believe in a brighter future. Perhaps you've known the sting of being cast out, of feeling like an outsider looking in, longing for a place where you truly belong. This is the terrain we'll explore together today, a landscape of the heart where the echoes of shame and the yearning for belonging collide. We'll journey into the story of Emily, a woman whose life took a devastating turn, forcing her to navigate the rough and unforgiving world of saloons after losing everything. Emily's story is not just hers. It resonates with anyone who has ever felt the sting of societal judgment or the crushing weight of a past they can't seem to escape. It speaks to the universal human need for redemption, for a second chance to rewrite the narrative of our lives. We'll also meet Caleb, a man whose heart bears the scars of profound loss, a man who has retreated into solitude as a way of navigating his grief. He lives a life of quiet isolation, yet beneath the surface, a longing for connection and healing persists. His path intersects with Emily's, and their unlikely meeting sets the stage for a transformative journey. They will find themselves drawn together by a shared understanding of pain and a mutual need for solace. This isn't just a story about finding love. It's a story about finding yourself, about reclaiming your worth in the face of adversity. It's about recognizing that even in the darkest of times, the potential for healing and transformation remains. It's about understanding the power of resilience, the courage it takes to face your past, and the profound impact of unconditional love. Our exploration will not be a simple one. We won't shy away from the complexities of human experience, the emotional wounds that shape us, and the patterns that keep us stuck. We'll delve into the roots of those patterns, the beliefs that bind us, and the fears that hold us back. We'll consider the perspectives of others and the ways in which their experiences shape our own. We'll also examine the importance of clear and honest communication and the power of creating safe spaces for vulnerability. We'll reflect on the essence of healthy love and what it truly means to embrace it. And finally, we'll arrive at a place of empowerment where you can begin to rewrite your own story and step into a future filled with love, belonging, and peace. As we journey to the conclusion of this shared exploration, consider the story of Emily and Caleb not just as a tale of the past, but as a mirror reflecting the potential within each of us. Their story echoes a fundamental truth that the capacity for healing, for profound transformation, resides within the human heart, even amidst the most desolate landscapes of experience. It reveals how the echoes of societal judgment, the weight of past mistakes, and the sting of loss can be transcended through the power of connection, empathy, and unwavering self-compassion. Observe how their path wasn't paved with easy answers or quick fixes. It was a winding, often challenging road, filled with moments of vulnerability, uncertainty, and the slow, patient work of rebuilding trust. This is the essence of true healing, a continuous process of self-discovery, of confronting our shadows, and of daring to believe in our inherent worthiness of love and belonging. The ranch, the wide-open spaces, and the quiet companionship of Caleb offered Emily a sanctuary from the external judgments and internal turmoil that had defined her existence. This narrative isn't just about escaping the past, it's about choosing to rewrite it. It's about recognizing that the stories we tell ourselves shape our reality, and that we possess the power to change the narrative. Emily's journey reminds us that the most profound form of freedom comes not from external validation, but from the internal acceptance of oneself. This is the essence of true resilience. It's the ability to rise from the ashes, to transform our wounds into wisdom, and to embrace a future where our past no longer defines us. Caleb's quiet strength, his capacity for empathy, and his unwavering belief in Emily underscore the transformative power of conscious love. This is not simply a romantic ideal, it's a practice of seeing the inherent goodness in another, of accepting their imperfections, and of creating a safe space where vulnerability can flourish. It is about fostering a shared space where authentic self-expression is welcomed, where boundaries are respected, and where the pursuit of individual growth is encouraged. The profound implication of Emily and Caleb's story extends far beyond their individual experiences. It is a gentle reminder that, in the vast expanse of life, we are all in some way wounded travelers. We all carry our own burdens, our own histories, and our own yearnings for connection and belonging. The true practice begins now, in the quiet moments of reflection, in the courageous acts of self-compassion, and in the everyday choices we make to cultivate love, empathy, and understanding within ourselves and in our relationships. It is a call to action, to embrace our own stories with honesty, to challenge the narratives that limit us, and to open our hearts to the possibility of healing and transformation. May you find the courage to rewrite your own story, and to live a life filled with the profound beauty of